there is a Facebook group that is blowing up, and there's one for each city, and it's called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And then you like insert whatever city you live in. And this has been blowing up all over the country. So the whole reason behind the group, which I support, is basically you post a photo of a guy that you want to know about, and there are guidelines, strict guidelines, so you can't slander anyone, and you can't say anything petty about the person. They're just supposed to be straight, like basically Google reviews, like this is my experience, and do what you want with it. So you post a photo and you say, is there any like red flags or anything good, bad, like what's your opinion on Joe, let's say. And then people will comment their opinions, and that's basically the group. And there are good comments and there are bad comments. But my question is, how on earth is this legal? Because I'm on the group, and it's just like, it's insane that there are 15,000 women in one group that can post about these men and their experiences, which again, I see the positive in it because the whole basis is to protect women. So if there's someone who's out there that's a predator or just have done really bad things to other women, it's a place where women are supposed to feel safe and say like, hey, this person like hurt me or did whatever, and potentially save other women from an experience like that. But there's also situations where there's just people posting like, oh, the guy didn't pay for my drink, and like he has a shitty apartment, which I think is just kind of petty. And like, yeah, that's your experience, but I just feel like it's like unnecessary to say things about another individual. So
that's America, right? We all have that's your First Amendment right to free speech, and free speech gets a little
even written speech, like on social media. Like,
yeah, written speech. So that's that's people say crazy things about politics. They say crazy things about sports. They say people are allowed. The great thing about the United States is you can give your opinion about things. There is a thing. The law is sometimes called libel or slander, where you lie about people and it hurts them.
So
it
what
injures
is
them.
slander then? Because if I just say like, oh, I don't like you because you're wearing a white shirt today, that's not slander. Like, what's slander?
Well, that's absolutely true, right? So truth is an absolute defense to a tort.
Okay.
So if you say, I don't like that guy, he has brown eyes. If he has brown eyes, you can't get in trouble.
Okay.
But if you say something to the effect of, I watched him beat his dog.
Okay.
And that's not true.
Like
say the guy gets arrested.
Can say stuff like that.
Yeah, right. So say that person gets arrested.
Okay.
Say they lose their job because you say something, say that guy sexually assaulted me and he gets fired from his job. That's not true. That's just you being mad because you had a bad breakup.
Okay.
So
there's no truth. Yeah, right. So they have to prove that it happened. Okay. So, yeah, because there are a couple.
Yeah. So in New York, that law is called defamation.
Okay.
You're not allowed to defame people. And then the law is a little different if it's a public figure. Like we can say a thing about public figures. I can say my opinion about the President of the United States. And it's a little, that's a public figure. But when you're talking about a private person, private interactions, you can't say things that are untrue about them.
Okay. Even in a closed Facebook setting of 15,000 people.
Yeah, that would right. That wouldn't be closed, right?
Well.
So the real.
I mean, you can't just. I don't know, because you can't just. You have to be accepted into it. You can't just like follow. You have to.
The challenge with almost all defamation happens pretty regularly, and you're talking about one scenario. The challenge with defamation is typically proving the damages aspect. Like, so say you defame me, right? What's the value of the defamation? Like, as a law firm, are we going to be...
But what if you don't even know about it? I mean, the thing is unless someone breaks the rule and like sends you a screenshot of it, like nobody is supposed to know that these things are being said about you.
Then what's your damages if you don't know about it and it doesn't affect you?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just a really interesting concept, and this day and age, I feel like it just doesn't seem legal. Like it seems wrong, but also I can support it. I don't know. I feel torn about it. What do you think?
I'm only as familiar with this as you tell me about it, but
yes. I just find that some of the comments are very, like working in a law firm and just seeing what we deal with on a daily basis and then seeing what people comment about these men on here. I just feel like some of it isn't necessarily right, depending on what they're saying. Like a lot of them are saying like, oh, this guy like has a shitty apartment was my example. And you're not supposed to write that. Like it's petty, it's stupid. Like it doesn't, that doesn't matter. You're really supposed to write if like someone's hurting someone else or like, I don't know, just anything that would be worth like telling your story for so that someone else doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, one of the things that comes to mind is from a legal perspective, right? So is what's the credibility here? And we talk about credibility of, essentially these are credibility of witness questions.
Right.
Well, essentially anyone they're not going to be writing about someone they have a strong relationship with. So everyone...
But anyone can write anything. Like I could go on there and pick a guy and just write any comment, but I've never even met the guy. So what's stopping anyone from just making up these lies about someone?
That's the scary part. And the reason, assume you have met the person. Right. You probably met them in an intimate way. Now you are no longer in that scenario. Mm-hmm. Well, what's your bias? What do you have to gain? Are you interested or uninterested? And it's how credible are these comments? That's the...
Yes, and I think you have to take most of the comments with a grain of salt, and because you're not there, you don't know the relationship between the two people or anything in between. But if you see 12 or 100 comments of 100 different girls giving their opinion and it's all the same thing, and like, I mean, there's probably some truth to that.
Right. So this whole thing comes back. I mean, when you analyze credibility, is what one person is saying consistent with the physical evidence? Yeah. Is there other evidence that matches? Do you have oh, he hit me? Are there photos of that?
Right.
Do you have another witness? All these.
A lot of the girls do say like, hey, like if you want like more, message me privately, or I'll send you screenshots or whatever, and. At least.
Yeah. So that's like an example of what we would call in court corroboration. Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a really interesting concept, and I can't believe that it's legal because it just doesn't seem legal, and I feel like it's slander on some level. But you're right. I mean, everyone has the freedom of speech. So. Yeah. All right.